Microsoft Office, or simply Office, is a family of client software, server software, and services developed by Microsoft. It was first announced by Bill Gates on August 1, 1988, at Comdex in Las Vegas. Initially a marketing term for an Office suite, the first version of Office contained Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and Microsoft PowerPoint. Over the years, Office applications have grown substantially closer with shared features such as a common spell checker, object linking and embedding data integration, and Visual Basic for applications scripting language. Microsoft also positions Office as a development platform for line of business software under the Office Business Applications brand. It contains a word processor, a spreadsheet program and a presentation program, an email client, a database management system, and a desktop publishing app. Office is produced in several versions targeted towards different end users and computing environments. The original, and most widely used version, is the desktop version, available for PCs running the Windows and Mac OS operating systems. Microsoft also maintains mobile apps for Android and iOS. Office on the web is a version of the software that runs within a web browser. Since Office 2013, Microsoft has promoted Office 365 as the primary means of obtaining Microsoft Office. It allows the use of the software and other services on a subscription business model, and users receive feature updates to the software for the lifetime of the subscription, including new features and cloud computing integration that are not necessarily included in the on-premises releases of Office sold under conventional license terms. In 2017, revenue from Office 365 overtook conventional license sales. Microsoft also rebranded most of their standard Office 365 editions into Microsoft 365 to emphasize their current inclusion of products and services. In October 2022, Microsoft announced that all instances of the Office name would be replaced with Microsoft 365, starting with Office on the web in November that year, and the individual desktop and mobile apps of the Office suite in January 2023, effectively retiring the Office brand after 32 years. Components. Core apps and services. Microsoft Word is a word processor included in Microsoft Office and some editions of the now discontinued Microsoft Works. The first version of Word, released in the autumn of 1983, was for the MS-DOS operating system and introduced the computer mouse to more users. Word 1.0 could be purchased with a bundled mouse, though none was required. Following the precedents of Lisa Wright and Mac Wright, Word for Macintosh attempted to add closer WYSIWYG features into its package. Word for Mac was released in 1985. Word for Mac was the first graphical version of Microsoft Word. Initially, it implemented the proprietary .doc format as its primary format. Word 2007, however, deprecated this format in favor of Office OpenXML, which was later standardized by ECMA International as an open format. Support for portable document format and Open Document was first introduced in Word for Windows with Service Pack 2 for Word 2007. Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet editor that originally competed with the dominant Lotus 1-2-3 and eventually outsold it. Microsoft released the first version of Excel for the Mac OS in 1985 and the first Windows version in November 1987. Microsoft PowerPoint is a presentation program used to create slideshows composed of text, graphics, and other objects, which can be displayed on screen and shown by the presenter or printed out on transparencies or slides. Microsoft OneNote is a note-taking program that gathers handwritten or typed notes, drawings, screen clippings, and audio commentaries. Notes can be shared with other OneNote users over the Internet or a network. OneNote was initially introduced as a standalone app that was not included in any Microsoft Office 2003 edition. However, OneNote eventually became a core component of Microsoft Office. With the release of Microsoft Office 2013, OneNote was included in all Microsoft Office offerings. OneNote is also available as a web app on Office on the web, a freemium Windows desktop app, a mobile app for Windows Phone, iOS, Android, and Symbian, and a Metro-style app for Windows 8 or later. Microsoft Outlook is a personal information manager that replaces Windows messaging, Microsoft Mail, and Schedule and starting in Office 97, it includes an email client, calendar, task manager, and address book. On the Mac OS, Microsoft offered several versions of Outlook in the late 1990s, but only for use with Microsoft Exchange Server. In Office 2001, it introduced an alternative application with a slightly different feature set called Microsoft Entourage. It reintroduced Outlook in Office 2011, replacing Entourage. Microsoft OneDrive is a file hosting service that allows users to sync files and later access them from a web browser or mobile device. Microsoft Teams is a platform that combines workplace chat, meetings, notes, and attachments. Windows-only apps. Microsoft Publisher is a desktop publishing app for Windows mostly used for designing brochures, labels, calendars, greeting cards, business cards, newsletters, websites, and postcards. Microsoft Access is a database management system for Windows that combines the Relational Access database engine with a graphical user interface and software development tools. Microsoft Access stores data in its own format based on the Access database engine. It can also import or link directly to data stored in other applications and databases. Microsoft Project is a project management app for Windows to keep track of events and to create network charts and Gantt charts, not bundled in any Office suite. Microsoft Visio is a diagram and flow charting app for Windows not bundled in any Office suite. Mobile-only apps. Office Lens is an image scanner optimized for mobile devices. It captures the document via the camera and then straightens the document portion of the image. The result can be exported to Word, OneNote, PowerPoint or Outlook, or saved in OneDrive, sent via mail or placed in Photo Library. Office Mobile is a unified Office mobile app for Android and iOS, which combines Word, Excel, and PowerPoint into a single app and introduces new capabilities as making quick notes, signing PDFs, scanning QR codes, and transferring files. Office Remote is an application that turns the mobile device into a remote control for desktop versions of Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Server applications. Microsoft SharePoint is a web-based collaborative platform that integrates with Microsoft Office. Launched in 2001, SharePoint is primarily sold as a document management and storage system, but the product is highly configurable and usage varies substantially among organizations. SharePoint services include Excel Services is a spreadsheet editing server similar to Microsoft Excel. InfoPath Forms Services is a form distribution server similar to Microsoft InfoPath. Microsoft Project Server is a project management server similar to Microsoft Project. Microsoft Search Server. Skype for Business Server is a real-time communications server for instant messaging and video conferencing. Microsoft Exchange Server is a mail server and calendaring server. Web Services. Microsoft Sway is a presentation web app released in October 2014. It also has a native app for iOS and Windows 10. Delve is a service that allows Office 365 users to search and manage their emails, meetings, contacts, social networks, and documents stored on OneDrive or sites in Office 365. Microsoft Forms is an online survey creator, available for Office 365 education subscribers. Microsoft To Do is a task management service. Outlook.com is a free webmail with a user interface similar to Microsoft Outlook. Outlook on the web is a webmail client similar to Outlook.com but more comprehensive and available only through Office 365 and Microsoft Exchange Server offerings. Microsoft Planner is a planning application available on the Microsoft Office 365 platform. Microsoft Stream is a corporate video sharing service for enterprise users with an Office 365 academic or enterprise license. Microsoft Bookings is an appointment booking application on the Microsoft Office 365 platform. Office on the web. Office on the web is a free lightweight web version of Microsoft Office and primarily includes 3 web applications: Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. The offering also includes Outlook.com, OneNote, and OneDrive, which are accessible through a unified app switcher. Users can install the on-premises version of this service, called Office Online Server, in private clouds in conjunction with SharePoint, Microsoft Exchange Server and Microsoft Link Server. Word, Excel, and PowerPoint on the web can all natively open, edit, and save Office Open XML files as well as Open Document files. They can also open the older Office file formats, but will be converted to the newer Open XML formats if the user wishes to edit them online. Other formats cannot be opened in the browser apps, such as CSV in Excel or HTML in Word, nor can Office files that are encrypted with a password be opened. Files with macros can be opened in the browser apps, but the macros cannot be accessed or executed. Starting in July 2013, Word can render PDF documents or convert them to Microsoft Word documents, although the formatting of the document may deviate from the original. Since November 2013, the apps have supported real-time SEO authoring and auto-saving files. Office on the web lacks a number of the advanced features present in the full desktop versions of Office, including lacking the program's access and publisher entirely. However, users are able to select the command Open in Desktop app that brings up the document in the desktop version of Office on their computer or device to utilize the advanced features there. Supported web browsers include Microsoft Edge, Internet Explorer 11, the latest versions of Firefox or Google Chrome, as well as Safari for OS X 10.8 or later. The personal edition of Office on the web is available to the general public free of charge with a Microsoft account through the Office.com website, which superseded SkyDrive and Office Live Workspace. Enterprise managed versions are available through Office 365. In February 2013, the ability to view and edit files on SkyDrive without signing in was added. The service can also be installed privately in enterprise environments as a SharePoint app, or through Office Web Apps Server. Microsoft also offers other web apps in the Office suite, such as the Outlook Web App, Link Web App, Project Web App. Additionally, Microsoft offers a service under the name of Online Doc Viewer to view Office documents on a website via Office on the web. There are free extensions available to use Office on the web directly in Google Chrome and Microsoft Edge. Common features. Most versions of Microsoft Office use their own widget set and do not exactly match the native operating system. This is most apparent in Microsoft Office XP in 2003, where the standard menus were replaced with a colored, flat-looking, shadowed menu style. The user interface of a particular version of Microsoft Office often heavily influences a subsequent version of Microsoft Windows. E.g., the toolbar, colored buttons, and the gray-colored 3D look of Office 4.3 were added to Windows 95. The ribbon, introduced in Office 2007, has been incorporated into several programs bundled with Windows 7 and later. The flat, box-like design of Office 2013 was replicated in Windows 8's new UI revamp. Users of Microsoft Office may access external data via connection specifications saved in Office Data Connection Files. Office, on all platforms, support editing both server files and offline files in the recent years. The support for editing server files was originally introduced after the introduction of OneDrive. But, older versions of Office also have the ability to edit server files. Both Windows and Office used service packs to update software. Office had non-cumulative service releases, which were discontinued after Office 2000 Service Release 1. Now, Windows and Office have shifted to predictable release schemes to update software. Past versions of Office often contained Easter eggs. For example, Excel 97 contained a reasonably functional flight simulator. File formats and metadata. Microsoft Office prior to Office 2007 used proprietary file formats based on the OLE compound file binary format. This forced users who share data to adopt the same software platform. In 2008, Microsoft made the entire documentation for the binary Office formats freely available for download and granted any possible patents rights for use or implementations of those binary format for free under the Open Specification Promise. Previously, Microsoft had supplied such documentation freely but only on request. Starting with Office 2007, the default file format has been a version of Office OpenXML, though different from the one standardized and published by ECMA International and by ISO/IEC. Microsoft has granted patent rights to the format's technology under the Open Specification Promise and has made available free downloadable converters for previous versions of Microsoft Office including Office 2003, Office XP, Office 2000 and Office 2004 for Mac OS X. Third-party implementations of Office OpenXML exist on the Windows platform, Mac OS platform, and Linux. In addition, Office 2010, Service Pack 2 for Office 2007, and Office 2016 for Mac supports the Open Document format for opening and saving documents. Only the old ODF 1.0 is supported, not the 1.2 version. Microsoft provides the ability to remove metadata from Office documents. This was in response to highly publicized incidents where sensitive data about a document was leaked via its metadata. Metadata removal was first available in 2004, when Microsoft released a tool called Remove Hidden Data add-in for Office 2003/XP for this purpose. It was directly integrated into Office 2007 in a feature called the Document Inspector. Extensibility. A major feature of the Office suite is the ability for users and third-party companies to write add-ins that extend the capabilities of an application by adding custom commands and specialized features. One of the new features is the Office Store. Plugins and other tools can be downloaded by users. Developers can make money by selling their applications in the Office Store. The revenue is divided between the developer and Microsoft, where the developer gets 80% of the money. Developers are able to share applications with all Office users. The app travels with the document, and it is for the developer to decide what the recipient will see when they open it. The recipient will either have the option to download the app from the Office Store for free, start a free trial, or be directed to payment. With Office's cloud abilities, IT departments can create a set of apps for their business employees in order to increase their productivity. When employees go to the Office Store, they'll see their company's apps under My Organization. The apps that employees have personally downloaded will appear under My Apps. Developers can use web technologies like HTML5, XML, CSS3, JavaScript, and APIs for building the apps. An application for Office is a web page that is hosted inside an Office client application. Users can use apps to amplify the functionality of a document, email message, meeting request, or appointment. Apps can run in multiple environments and by multiple clients, including rich Office desktop clients, Office web apps, mobile browsers, and also on-premises and in the cloud. The type of add-ins supported differ by Office versions. Office 97 onwards. Office 2000 onwards. Office XP onwards. Office 2003 onwards. Password protection. Microsoft Office has a security feature that allows users to encrypt Office documents with a user-provided password. The password can contain up to 255 characters and uses ease 128-bit advanced encryption by default. Passwords can also be used to restrict modification of the entire document, worksheet, or presentation. Due to lack of document encryption, though, these passwords can be removed using a third-party cracking software. Support policies. Approach. All versions of Microsoft Office products from Office 2000 to Office 2016 are eligible for 10 years of support following their release, during which Microsoft releases security updates for the product version and provides paid technical support. The 10-year period is divided into two 5-year phases, the mainstream phase and the extended phase. During the mainstream phase, Microsoft may provide limited complimentary technical support and release non-security updates or change the design of the product. During the extended phase, said services stop. Office 2019 only receives 5 years of mainstream and 2 years of extended support, and Office 2021 only gets 5 years of mainstream support. Timelines of support. Platforms. Microsoft supports Office for the Windows and Mac OS platforms, as well as mobile versions for Windows Phone, Android, and iOS platforms. Beginning with Mac Office 4.2, the Mac OS and Windows versions of Office share the same file format, and are interoperable. Visual Basic for Applications support was dropped in Microsoft Office 2008 for Mac, then reintroduced in Office for Mac 2011. Microsoft tried in the mid-1990s to port Office to RISC processors such as NEC/MIPS and IBM/PowerPC, but they met problems such as memory access being hampered by data structure alignment requirements. Microsoft Word 97 and Excel 97, however, did ship for the DIS Alpha platform. Difficulties in porting Office may have been a factor in discontinuing Windows NT on non-Intel platforms. Pricing model and additions. The Microsoft Office applications and suites are sold via retail channels, and volume licensing for larger organizations. In 2010, Microsoft introduced a software as a service platform known as Office 365, to provide cloud-hosted versions of Office's server software, including Exchange Email and SharePoint, on a subscription basis. Following the release of Office 2013, Microsoft began to offer Office 365 plans for the consumer market, with access to Microsoft Office software on multiple devices with free feature updates over the life of the subscription, as well as other services such as OneDrive storage. Microsoft has since promoted Office 365 as the primary means of purchasing Microsoft Office. Although there are still on-premises releases roughly every 3 years, Microsoft marketing emphasizes that they do not receive new features or access to new cloud-based services as they are released, unlike Office 365, as well as other benefits for consumer and business markets. Office 365 revenue overtook traditional license sales for Office in 2017. Editions. Microsoft Office is available in several editions, which regroup a given number of applications for a specific price. Primarily, Microsoft sells Office as Microsoft 365. The editions are as follows. Microsoft 365 Personal, Microsoft 365 Family, Microsoft 365 Business Basic, Microsoft 365 Business Standard, Microsoft 365 Business Premium, Microsoft 365 Apps for Business, Microsoft 365 Apps for Enterprise. Office 365 E1, E3, E5. Office 365 A1, A3, A5. Office 365 G1, G3, G5. Microsoft 365 F1, F3, Office 365 F3. Microsoft sells Office for a one-time purchase as home and student and home and business. However, these editions do not receive major updates. Education pricing. Post-secondary students may obtain the University Edition of Microsoft Office 365 subscription. It is limited to one user and 2 devices, plus the subscription price is valid for 4 years instead of just 1. Apart from this, the University Edition is identical in features to the Home Premium version. This marks the first time Microsoft does not offer physical or permanent software at academic pricing, in contrast to the university versions of Office 2010 and Office 2011. In addition, students eligible for DreamSpark program may receive select standalone Microsoft Office apps free of charge. Discontinued applications and features. Binder was an application that can incorporate several documents into one file and was originally designed as a container system for storing related documents in a single file. The complexity of use and learning curve led to little usage, and it was discontinued after Office XP. Bookshelf was a reference collection introduced in 1987 as part of Microsoft's extensive work in promoting CD-ROM technology as a distribution medium for electronic publishing. Data Analyzer was a business intelligence program for graphical visualization of data and its analysis. Docs.com was a public document sharing service where Office users can upload and share Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Sway and PDF files for the whole world to discover and use. Entourage was an Outlook counterpart on Mac OS. Microsoft discontinued it in favor of extending the Outlook brand name. FrontPage was a WYSIWYG HTML editor and website administration tool for Windows. It was branded as part of the Microsoft Office suite from 1997 to 2003. FrontPage was discontinued in December 2006 and replaced by Microsoft SharePoint Designer and Microsoft Expression Web. InfoPath was a Windows application for designing and distributing rich XML-based forms. The last version was included in Office 2013. Interconnect was a business relationship database available only in Japan. Internet Explorer was a graphical web browser and one of the main participants of the first browser war. It was included in Office until Office XP when it was removed. Mail was a mail client. Office Accounting was an accounting software application from Microsoft targeted towards small businesses that had between 1 and 25 employees. Office Assistant was a system that uses animated characters to offer context-sensitive suggestions to users and access to the help system. The assistant is often dubbed Clippy or Clipit, due to its default to a paperclip character, coded as clipit.acs. The latest versions that include the Office Assistant were Office 2003 and Office 2004. Office Document Image Writer was a virtual printer that takes documents from Microsoft Office or any other application and prints them, or stores them in an image file as TIFF or Microsoft Document Imaging format. It was discontinued with Office 2010. Office Document Imaging was an application that supports editing scanned documents. Discontinued Office 2010. Office Document Scanning was a scanning and OCR application. Discontinued Office 2010. Office Picture Manager was a basic photo management software that replaced Microsoft Photo Editor. PhotoDraw was a graphics program that was first released as part of the Office 2000 Premium Edition. A later version for Windows XP compatibility was released, known as PhotoDraw 2000 version 2. Microsoft discontinued the program in 2001. Photo Editor was photo editing or raster graphics software in older Office versions up to Office XP. It was supplemented by Microsoft PhotoDraw in Office 2000 Premium Edition. Schedule Plus was released with Office 95. It featured a planner, to-do list, and contact information. Its functions were incorporated into Microsoft Outlook. SharePoint Designer was a WYSIWYG HTML editor and website administration tool. Microsoft attempted to turn it into a specialized HTML editor for SharePoint sites, but failed on this project and wanted to discontinue it. SharePoint Workspace was a proprietary peer-to-peer document collaboration software designed for teams with members who are regularly offline or who do not share the same network security clearance. Skype for Business was an integrated communications client for conferences and meetings in real time. It is the only Microsoft Office desktop app that is neither useful without a proper network infrastructure nor has the Microsoft prefix in its name. Streets and Trips is a discontinued mapping program developed and distributed by Microsoft. Unbind is a program that can extract the contents of a binder file. Unbind can be installed from the Office XP CD-ROM. Virtual PC was included with Microsoft Office Professional Edition 2004 for Mac. Microsoft discontinued support for Virtual PC on the Mac in 2006 owing to new Macs possessing the same Intel architecture as Windows PCs. It emulated a standard PC in its hardware. Visict was a program that activated documents using HTML, adding effects such as animation. It allows users to create dynamic documents for the web. The development has ended due to unpopularity. Discontinued server applications. Microsoft Office Forms Server lets users use any browser to access and fill InfoPath forms. Office Forms Server is a standalone server installation of InfoPath Forms services. Microsoft Office Groove Server was centrally managing all deployments of Microsoft Office Groove in the enterprise. Microsoft Office Project Portfolio Server allows creation of a project portfolio, including workflows, which is hosted centrally. Microsoft Office Performance Point Server allows customers to monitor, analyze, and plan their business. Discontinued web services. Office Live. Office Live Small Business had web hosting services and online collaboration tools for small businesses. Office Live Workspace had online storage and collaboration service for documents, which was superseded by Office on the web. Office Live Meeting was a web conferencing service. Criticism. Data formats. Microsoft Office has been criticized in the past for using proprietary file formats rather than open standards, which forces users who share data into adopting the same software platform. However, on February 15, 2008, Microsoft made the entire documentation for the binary Office formats freely available under the Open Specification Promise. Also, Office OpenXML, the document format for the latest versions of Office for Windows and Mac, has been standardized under both ECMA International and ISO. ECMA International has published the Office OpenXML specification free of copyrights, and Microsoft has granted patent rights to the format's technology under the Open Specification Promise and has made available free downloadable converters for previous versions of Microsoft Office including Office 2003, Office XP, Office 2000 and Office 2004 for the Mac. Third-party implementations of Office OpenXML exist on the Mac platform and Linux. Unicode and bidirectional texts. Another point of criticism Microsoft Office has faced was the lack of support in its Mac versions for Unicode and bidirectional text languages, notably Arabic and Hebrew. This issue, which had existed since the first release in 1989, was addressed in the 2016 version. Privacy. On November 13, 2018, a report initiated by the government of the Netherlands concluded that Microsoft Office 2016 and Office 365 do not comply with GDPR, the European law which regulates data protection and privacy for all citizens in and outside the EU and EFTA region. The investigation was initiated by the observation that Microsoft does not reveal or share publicly any data collected about users of its software. In addition, the company does not provide users of its software an option to turn off diagnostic and telemetry data sent back to the company. Researchers found that most of the data that the Microsoft software collects and sends home is diagnostics. Researchers also observed that Microsoft seemingly tried to make the system GDPR compliant by storing Office documents on servers based in the EU. However, they discovered the software packages collected additional data that contained private user information, some of which was stored on servers located in the US. The Netherlands Ministry of Justice hired privacy company to probe and evaluate the use of Microsoft Office products in the public sector. Microsoft systematically collects data on a large scale about the individual use of Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook. Covertly, without informing people, researchers of the privacy company stated in their blog post. Microsoft does not offer any choice with regard to the amount of data, or possibility to switch off the collection, or ability to see what data are collected, because the data stream is encoded. The researchers commented that there is no need for Microsoft to store information such as IPs and email addresses, which are collected automatically by the software. Microsoft should not store these transient, functional data, unless the retention is strictly necessary, for example, for security purposes. The researchers conclude in the final report by the Netherlands Ministry of Justice. As a result of this in-depth study and its conclusions, the Netherlands regulatory body concluded that Microsoft has violated GDPR on many counts, including lack of transparency and purpose limitation, and the lack of a legal ground for the processing. Microsoft has provided the Dutch authorities with an improvement plan that should satisfy Dutch regulators that it would end all violations. The Dutch regulatory body is monitoring the situation and states that if progress is deemed insufficient or if the improvements offered are unsatisfactory, SLM Microsoft RIC will reconsider its position and may ask the Data Protection Authority to carry out a prior consultation and to impose enforcement measures. When asked for a response by an IT professional publication, a Microsoft spokesperson stated, "We are committed to our customers' privacy, putting them in control of their data and ensuring that Office Pro Plus and other Microsoft products and services comply with GDPR and other applicable laws. We appreciate the opportunity to discuss our diagnostic data handling practices in Office Pro Plus with the Dutch Ministry of Justice and look forward to a successful resolution of any concerns." The user privacy data issue affects Pro Plus subscriptions of Microsoft Office 2016 and Microsoft Office 365, including the online version of Microsoft Office 365. History of releases. Version history. Windows versions. Microsoft Office for Windows. Microsoft Office 3.0. Microsoft Office 4.x. Microsoft Office 95. Microsoft Office 97. Microsoft Office 2000. Microsoft Office XP. Microsoft Office 2003. Microsoft Office 2007. Microsoft Office 2010. Microsoft Office 2013. Microsoft Office 2016. Microsoft Office 2019. Microsoft Office 2021. Mac versions. Prior to packaging its various Office-type Mac OS software applications into Office, Microsoft released Mac versions of Word 1.0 in 1984, the first year of the Macintosh computer, Excel 1.0 in 1985, and PowerPoint 1.0 in 1987. Microsoft does not include its Access database application in Office for Mac. Microsoft has noted that some features are added to Office for Mac before they appear in Windows versions, such as Office for Mac 2001's Office Project Gallery and PowerPoint Movie feature, which allows users to save presentations as QuickTime movies. However, Microsoft Office for Mac has been long criticized for its lack of support of Unicode and for its lack of support for right-to-left languages, notably Arabic, Hebrew, and Persian. Early Office for Mac releases: Microsoft Office 98 Macintosh Edition, Microsoft Office 2001 and VX, Office 2004, Office 2008, Office 2011, OneNote and Outlook release, Office 2016, Office 2019. Mobile versions. Office Mobile for iPhone was released on June 14, 2013, in the United States. Support for 135 markets and 27 languages was rolled out over a few days. It requires iOS 8 or later. Although the app also works on iPad devices, excluding the first generation, it is designed for a small screen. Office Mobile was released for Android phones on July 31, 2013, in the United States. Support for 117 markets and 33 languages was added gradually over several weeks. It is supported on Android 4.0 and later. Office Mobile is or was also available, though no longer supported, on Windows Mobile, Windows Phone and Symbian. Windows RT devices were bundled with Office RT, a port of the PC version of Office 2013 to ARM architecture. The applications contain most of the functionality available in their versions for Intel-compatible PCs, but some features have been removed. Early Office Mobile releases: Office for Android, iOS, and Windows 10 Mobile.